Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and the specially merciful. Dear viewers, I greet you with the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'm quite sure that at least some of us have started spreading this peaceful greeting that spreads the spirit of happiness among others. I'm sure that it worked out with many people. So I hope, inshallah, you develop using it and use it as many times as you can. Here we have one verse from the Holy Quran. And when I say that one verse, it means, I'm sure that it sounds like it's one treasure. And it is. Each ayah in the Holy Quran is considered a treasure. And you can see once you know it and you find the others don't know it, you will feel the difference between the knowledge that you have, the quality of the knowledge that you have, that this knowledge is from Almighty Allah, whereas other people still are miss their ways. They don't know the right way. They don't know the right track. Whereas other people have already known this and have gone through it and they have cut a long way through it. And I wish that we are some of them. I'm quite sure that you are documenting here. This ayah in particular talks about signs. Sign. If you want to know that whether you are on the right track or not, ask yourself, are you guided? Do you feel that you follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You follow the guidelines from your Creator or no? What's your feeling? Do you have any indication? Do you have any evidence? What are the proofs that you are going to present to Almighty Allah if you are asked these questions? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, in chapter number 6, ayah number 125. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us two signs. A sign that shows us this person is going to the right direction, and a sign that the other person is going to a wrong direction. And whenever you are in a situation or a context like this, ask yourself, try to apply this to your own self. Am I closer to this one or closer to this one? And try to imagine that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send us these signs, what is our situation? How can we be guided? How can I get a hint or an indication that I'm doing the right thing? Who would tell you? Is it your father or your mother or your teacher or your uncle? Who's going to tell you? They are humans like you. They themselves don't know whether they are on the right track or the wrong track. This shows us the importance of being in contact with this Quran, with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as much as we can. And this is the best place ever you can find, and you can have comfort and peace and get happiness. And most of the people who became Muslims, they would say, they would agree on the same thing. This is where I got all my questions answered. This is where I got my comfort. I got the rest of this. This when I became tranquil. Then this is where I got my happiness. You find everyone who had been guided would almost use the same words because it's guidance. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defined it in many places. And it is for what? Guidance for people. For people, every human being. So no excuse for you. Don't say that I don't have a book. This is the book. It's called Al-Quran Al-Kareem. This is the question. Let's read the question and then reflect upon it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to guide, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens his heart, opens his chest, opens his mind to Islam. Allah would direct him to Islam. We'd find that he's developing interest day after day, asking this question and the other question, and getting this lecture and hearing it, and asking the scholars and doing this and this all the time. Allah opens up his heart to Islam. He becomes very pleased to know about Islam day and day until he takes his decision. This is my time to take this decision, to accept this religion, to convert to this religion. This is a sign. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to guide someone, this is the sign. He guides him to have to develop interest and love for Islam. This is a sign. So when you find somebody is interested in this religion and asks you and calls you and goes to the library and buys this bookstore and so on and so forth. So the interest increases day after day and it accumulates. This is a sign, a very positive sign. Whereas, on the other hand, you find another person who is unhappy whenever he hears Allah, whenever he hears about Muhammad, peace be upon him, whenever he hears all these things, positive things about Islam, he is unhappy. The first one was a very happy person, was very pleased. The second one, second person, and this is a sign that he's not pleased. He doesn't want to hear about that. He doesn't want to develop his relationship with Islam to the degree that he feels that his heart and his chest is getting very narrow, as if he is escalating, as if he is going up a hill or a mountain. When you go up a hill or a mountain, something physical that happens to you, you are breathless. You become breathless. You cannot breathe. Your chest becomes tight. And these are the signs of being unpleased with what you got, the message that you got from Almighty Allah. Other words, you are not guided. Every time you hear the name Muhammad, peace be upon him, you are kind of irritated. When you hear about the message that Allah sent in the Quran, that obey Allah because He is the only Lord in this universe, you still have some doubts in your heart. You're not pleased at all. Your heart is and chest is narrow. You cannot breathe very easily. You feel very uncomfortable. You may leave the entire room. You may shut down the screen in front of you. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to see that. You may put the book here or there. Put it aside. Please, I don't want this and I don't want this. These are two signs. The first one is a good positive sign that this person is on the right track. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised, as I mentioned in many verses, that this kind of person or those kind of people who are serious, who take things serious and do their part and do the research, and they ask the questions and they go to the scholars, they are the ones Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are going to help them. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive hard, those who search, those who do their effort, maximum effort in the right direction, definitely Allah will guide them. So the sign here is that they feel happy. They want to ask. Like you can see this in many classes. When you find this person asking these questions, you know that he is very much interested. It's a good sign. On the other hand, the other one, no, he doesn't do that. He's not interested. He doesn't ask questions. In fact, he tries to avoid the discussion. He tries to avoid even attending the lectures. He tries. All these are negative signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want to guide him because of his act. Allah does not initiate this. He is the one who initiated it. He is the one who showed this interest. It is the fact, the truth in front of the two people, and one of them is taking positive steps, and the other one is making the negative steps. And one sign of the negative steps is that you feel that your heart, your chest is tight. You are unpleased. You are breathless of that. Again, alhamdulillah, these are signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this ayah. Ayah number 125, chapter number 6, which is very important for every Muslim and Muslimah, particularly those ones who want to help others to guide them. You give them the truth, you give them the book of Allah, you give them a small lecture on tape, you give them anything, a clip, you email it to them, let them be exposed, yes, to that. Yet, you have to keep an eye on that, because when you see somebody is taking positive steps, he needs your intervention. He needs your support. He needs some time from you so that you can help him be developing himself and progressing more and more. And at the same time, you see the other one is shrinking back and being distracted and being unhappy, unpleasant with the message that was given to him or to her. You know that they are keeping away. So don't exert a lot of effort in this direction. Rather, use your effort and your capacity and your energy effectively and use it in this direction. So we are learning this in order to benefit ourselves. We can use our energy in other ways. Why would I insist on directing my energy to this person whom, according to the Quran, I have seen signs that he is not positive, he is negative about the message that he got. And Allah did not say, he may be guided down the road, nobody knows. But this is not where you have to be smart. You have to put some hierarchies. Don't waste your time, because your time is, or your life is limited and my life is limited. So if I use it in the right way, the right location, I may get some better results. This is one of the things that we have learned from our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yet, you have to keep in mind, it is the right of every human being. It is the right of every human being to have access to this religion. And we don't have the right to make judgment. This person is not good and this person is good. It's not our job. We have to give the message, yet, as I said, There's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 250. So this one, the one who should be number 1 to be addressed, should be number 1. This is the hierarchy. If you make hierarchy for those people who are doing da'wah with them, right, you will find that someone is progressing quicker than the other. So this would be on the top of your priorities. This is a priority. And then the other one would be a second priority or third priority and fourth priority and so on and so forth. Because our lives are limited and we want to get the best use of these lives. This is one lesson that we learn from the Holy Quran and we learn from our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yet the results is not in our hands. I think these are some tips and some guidelines that had been given to us to adopt. Our reaction to this, if you are qualified and you have some background knowledge, alhamdulillah, good knowledge, try to share it with other people. Don't keep it for yourself. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.